What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Experience More podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to the individuals wishing to experience more out of the great outdoors and life as we know it with those they love to experience it with. I'm your host, Jake Arvold, and let's get to the show. All right, guys, diving into this week, we got a solo cast. Just me, myself, and I really diving into just my own thoughts. And for those of you guys who've been here, you know I got solo casts, got product pieces, reviews, things like that. And then, of course, guest episodes as a whole. And those are always near and dear to my heart just because I love being able to share experiences or live vicariously through others' experiences and helping share their knowledge, their nuggets of information. Because honestly, like life as a whole, all of us going through it, the best way to learn is by hand-on-hand experiences. And if we can go through and surround ourselves by great individuals who have gone through life and lived different experiences, we're able to take those nuggets and learn through their experiences. Myself, when we come into the solo cast, really just my own perspective, 2 cents, thoughts on the world, and just as I go through and live it with each and every one of you guys. So I appreciate each and every one of you showing up this week. We're really going to dive into just the power of perspective this week, coming off of Summer Smash weekend. For those of you guys who don't know what Summer Smash is, it is our backyard barbecue at First Form headquarters. This was the 11th year. It is my 10th year of Summer Smash as a whole personally, and it's wild. It's super crazy cool to be able to experience it with so many individuals. This event started out with like 300 people back in the early days, and now we had a little over 4,000 individuals coming to our company barbecue out here in Missouri. And to say it is an experience unlike any other is an understatement. It is individuals of all walks of life, shapes, sizes, everything through and through. And, I have a day here of just like reflection on the weekend as it all is just like a blur. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and the whole crew and staff is, but we're back at it again on a Monday. And I know this episode's coming in a little bit late, but I really wanted to just give some time to marinate in my thoughts from the weekend because I know I wanted to go through and do this episode while it was still fresh in my mind. And the thought of just perspective kept bouncing around inside of my brain. I think of the years that I've been with First Form, the trials and tribulations that have come along the way, the growth that we've seen within First Form Outdoors, the outdoor division of First Form as a whole, the trials and tribulations that have come with that, and really all the good things, regardless of setbacks, all the good things that have happened in really the decade that has been my Summer Smash experience. And for a lot of you guys, there are so many of you that have been to numerous Summer Smashes, and so many people I met this year that have never been to a Summer Smash. And, I will give a little bit of kind of a breakdown on what people's perspectives coming in and thoughts on it, and their lack of better term expectations met and just kind of exceeded in it, because it's a lot and most people don't know what to expect coming into this event as a whole, especially if they're coming just solo. But man, I don't even really know where to start. I first came down to Summer Smash in 2016 I didn't know anyone coming in, and you guys hear me talk a lot about the power of social media and how that can be such a crazy good, cool tool for relationship building. There's a lot of negative pieces that, people like to hit on it and, bash social media for it, but really a lot of the relationships that I have today have been built through that. Some of the closest friendships and relationships I have today are from individuals that I've met through Instagram, social platforms, as really just a digital pen pal tool to connect with people, literally from all across the country and the world. And if you look at it in the negative light, you'll find all the negative. Right? But if you look at it in the positive light and utilize it as a great tool and resource, there's so many positive things in it. And I don't succumb to the mindset that the world is an evil, terrible place. I really look at the perspective of, hey, the world is a beautiful place. It is full of phenomenal individuals, and it is full of just abundant opportunities. And it's very easy to get into a negative mindset with social media and everything that's ultimately out there if all you're doing is looking at the negative. So you really have to shift your mindset into this perspective of gratitude, and you are going to get back what you ultimately put out into the world. Summer Smash is no different. Social media is no different. If you look for all the negatives that are out there, you're going to see them all. But if you look for all the positives, you're also going to see all of those and ultimately get yourself into a point where you're surrounding yourself by other great, phenomenal, like-minded individuals. Me coming down to Summer Smash in 2016, I didn't know anyone. I, came in, and it was funny. The time I came down here, someone all of a sudden behind me, I'm coming to this crowd, a few hundred people, and all of a sudden I hear behind me this individual just yelling, "Jarvold, Jarvold." I'm like, Jarvold? Who knows me from high school? Like, Jarvold is what was on the back of my high school, sweatshirt, or when I played football and different stuff in high school. And I'm like, I don't know anyone else who would be down here for this that is from my high school. Lo and behold, Jarvold is what my Instagram handle was back then. And everyone knew me for my Instagram handle and not my name. Right? Because we all lived in that kind of world of having, that perspective. That's all they knew me as. They knew me as Jarvold. And, later on switched my Instagram to my actual name and that, so people knew who I was, my actual name. And, but it was just cool that, these people I'd never met, hundreds of individuals, able to connect in one spot, and where we've all been brought together by a common goal and mission behind, First Form, and just wanting to be better individuals ourselves and create an ecosystem that was better for everyone out there. We're all working to be better, and we want to see the best in every single other person that we surround ourselves with. And coming to that Summer Smash, I knew walking away from that I wanted to do something bigger and better with my life. I knew that this was a group of individuals and people that I wanted to be able to surround myself with. I didn't know what it was going to look like at that time, but I made it as a personal goal that I was going to do something bigger within the framework of First Form and help them move the mission forward one way, shape, or form. After that, of course, got into the athlete search that they had put on back then, and became a Legionnaire, was a rep with them back in the day, just because I'd gained so much through Andy's podcast, which was the MFCO project back then. Now you can look it up and find it through the Real AF podcast. You go all the way back down to the beginning. I mean, Andy's given so much value and so many different tidbits of information through his podcast, to where the beginning, if you look at Real AF, if you go all the way back to like the first 300 plus episodes, it's the MFCO project. And that's what the Real AF show was. Prior to it was the MFCO project, then became Real AF. And, that podcast is what, gave me a lot of the knowledge and the swift kick in the ass that I ultimately needed as a young, gung-ho individual, just a kid growing up in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, to realize that there were other people out there that thought like I thought and wanted to do bigger and better things in the world. And that podcast played a huge role in who I am today. And as I get older, it was really just the vocalization of what I already knew was true and how I was brought up from my dad, grandfather. A lot of the values and everything were already instilled at me at a very, very young age. And I was very, very fortunate for growing up with that upbringing, because I realize now that I am older, there's not a lot of people that have that. But it's one thing to be able to grow up with those tools. It's another thing to have someone on the outside verbalizing those things and to realize that you're not alone. There are other people out there that do have ambitions of doing bigger and better, greater things, and believe that you are able to do those things. It's one thing to hear it from mom, dad, grandfathers, grandmothers, any of that kind of stuff, or those people close to you, but to hear it from other people on the outside, like, holy shit, there's other people out there doing great, grand things. Why not you? And you're truly, truly capable of doing some phenomenal things if you give yourself the permission to do so. Coming down to that event, you're surrounding yourself with other people with that same mindset, not just separated by a 2x3 inch screen on your phone, but you take that perspective, that old saying of you are who you surround yourself with, that falls into who you surround yourself with social media. That falls into the books that you read, the podcasts you listen to. And if you can take all of that and really drive home that, anything you come into contact with, anything that, pushes you or drives you, and you just decide to go all in on the goals and ambitions and dreams, aspirations that you have and start working towards it, I promise you, life will start to unfold and the universe will start providing you opportunities to go through and move towards what it is you wish to achieve and ultimately become in this life. But unless you have an open mind to that, those opportunities will pass you by. If you're focused on the negative and this whole mindset of like it's never going to be me, or this happened to me, or they have it better, you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that rut. You have to open up your mind that life is happening for you, not to you, right? There are opportunities every fucking corner of the way, even through the setbacks, even through the hard times. The stuff that scares you the absolute most, scares the absolute shit out of you, those are usually an indicator that you're moving towards what it is you are meant to do and what you are being called to do. We all have that little gut intuition of what it is we really should be working towards. And the more and more you ignore that, the more you're suppressing your own personal growth, ambitions, and really value you're able to bring to the world, your family, and everyone around you. And the more you surround yourself by those people, it just helps, those positive people, that positive energy. Surround yourself by the social, surround yourself by the books, surround yourself by the podcasts that are forward thinking and progressive in the direction you wish to go. The more opportunities you will see, the more opportunities that will come your way. And when I say come your way, I mean really the opportunities you see, because at the end of the day, you have opportunities all around you. It's just whether or not you're in the right headspace or frame of mind to take those opportunities and to actually see them as opportunities and not just setbacks, right? Think about, coming out here where there were a lot of people at Summer Smash this year that I'd never met before. They're individuals who have followed me. They are individuals who have followed the brand, and they decided finally, they've probably watched Summer Smash for the last 1, 2, 3 years, looked at it and said, that's maybe not for me. That's really not who I am. They maybe see the flash, the glitz, the glam, the different things that we put out via social media, right? But they don't really get the behind the scenes, the conversations that happen, the relationships that happen, the relationships that are deepened, right? Because it is the combination of all these phenomenal humans coming together and actually meeting each other face to face and realizing that you are not alone, right? That it's not just about, a little screen on social media and following in the what ifs, wondering, you come down here and that first time me coming to Summer Smash and that person calling me Jarvold, connecting with those individuals was holy shit, you're a real human. You're actually a good human. You're not a facade or someone that puts things on. And I'm not saying there's always going to be people that put on a show or things via social, but until you meet them in person, and Summer Smash is a great opportunity to connect with those people face to face and realize that they ain't just full of shit. They're actually good humans. And to go 10 years of Summer Smash myself and 11 years total, there's never been a fight at Summer Smash. You think about that. It's I was talking to an individual, Sally's within the tactical games. He's like, dude, this is the safest I've ever felt at a concert or an event of this magnitude and this size. It's kind of weird. And that's just a testament of the community that has been built through First Form. And I take that with a great deal just of pride and gratitude in the sense that they recognize those things, because we don't have those fights. We don't have those breakouts. You move to the front of the crowd, you want to be in the concert at the end of the day and on Saturday, and no one's pushing, no one's shoving, everyone's watching out for kids. I got my 2.5-year-old daughter out there, and we're having fun. We're working out. On Saturday morning, we do a workout for 30 for the Kids, which is our big initiative. At the end of the day, there's a lot of individuals who live out there. There are a lot of kids out there, whether it is on the state side or over in Haiti or, wherever these kids come into the world, they're literally our worst day is their best day. And there's a lot of opportunities out there for us to go out and be advocates for all of them and take care of them. And this workout we do is really, to support 30 for the Kids, our nonprofit, Embrace for Impact, and helping these kids over in Haiti and also a bunch of kids local to St. Louis and outside. And, we had 3,000 people show up to do this workout, literally just for the cause of coming together for a greater goal. And there are people that are in that group that had never done that before. They've never pushed themselves that hard in a workout before. They've never, maybe shown up to do something to that magnitude before, especially with that many people before. And to be able to have those individuals come together, and for me to have my 2.5-year-old daughter out there, running around, having fun, and me not have to worry about watching over my back, where is she, what is she doing? And I have tons of other individuals, extended family members at this point in time, that are watching over my daughter and care for my daughter as I do. And it is a truly, truly powerful, very, very humbling feeling knowing that, I have such a good crew of individuals around me, because that's just not the case in a lot of different areas. And the impact that we are having through First Form has been exponential to anything that I could have ever imagined a decade ago. Thinking about that back then, wanting to be a bigger part of the brand and help the mission move forward, I have to kind of take a step back and realize, like, holy shit, you've done it. You've been a part of this. We are moving forward. We are creating an impact. We're changing people's lives, saving people's lives. And it's not just me. It's the collective effort of an entire village, an entire community of individuals going out there to push forward the message of being better individuals ourselves for our brothers and sisters in this life. And it's just a crazy, cool experience. And I encourage all of you, and I apologize going down a rabbit hole here. I'm not sorry at all. But if you've never experienced it, I highly, highly recommend you next year putting it on your docket. Even if it's something you don't feel like really fits your vibe. I have guys who are out there totally blue collar, farm ranchers, and they're like, it's really not my scene. And they come the first time last year, and now they're back for the second time. It's like best event they've ever been to or been a part of. And that just talks about the community. Right? Yeah, it's a fun concert. We have, we had Big X the Plug out, we had T.I. out, we had Marshmallow Head out. We had a phenomenal concert at the end of the entire show. But the real magic isn't the concert, right? The real magic is the relationships that are built, the relationships that are really created in those 4 days, right? It just is something that you will never truly understand or experience until you are there yourself, face to face with the other individuals in the community. So that's really just my piece I want to drive home with it is there's so many opportunities out there for you to go out and be what it is you want to be, to achieve what it is you want to achieve. But if all you're looking at is that's not me, that's not my kind of vibe, or that's not really where I'm at, you're in a spot where you're looking at all the can'ts and the won'ts and the negatives to things versus looking at all of the opportunities. It's really having that glass full mindset versus half empty, and that life really does happen for you, not to you, because it's very easy to get sucked into that negative. Right now you might be watching stuff happening via social media, Instagram, be like, man, I should have missed it. Or I had a lot of people comment I got a lot of FOMO, wish I could have been there, I should have gone, I knew I should have gone. Yeah, well, guess what? There's always next year. There are other opportunities. But I encourage you to have that open mindset and look at the opportunities that are there. I've talked about gratitude. You have to look at the gratitude aspect of things. Okay, well, maybe we didn't get things done today. What can we do to move forward? And just having this perspective that there is so much opportunity out there versus the opposing side of that there is not opportunity when there really truly is. But it is going to take you, the things you wish to achieve, the things you want to overcome are going to take a hell of a lot longer than you anticipate them to actually take, right? It's no different than me going through this podcast and building this out episode by episode and you guys listening to it and just providing value. It's going to take a long time. I'm only 55 so episodes in. I already have charted out, and this is where me going into it, I have to lay out the framework and the groundwork and stay consistent with it personally, right? I have now a framework on different topics throughout it because I knew that I didn't have any really structure to it. I've gotten this far without structure, but now I've really broken down different structures that are going to help give a better framework week to week, month to month, and year over year as the Experience More podcast unfolds and builds out. It's no different than a diet plan or meal plan or a workout plan. Like if you don't have a plan in front of you, you're just kind of shooting from the hip, hoping things happen. Well, if I can lay out the next 50, 100 podcast episodes, right, and really have an idea, have a plan in place, it gives me the ability to show up for each and every one of you guys. And that goes with anything and everything you guys are wanting to go out and achieve, whether that is your own personal fitness goal, whether that is the next Western hunt you wish to go on, whether it's a Midwest hunt you want to go on, whether it's a trip you want to take with the family, whether it's a financial goal that you personally have. If you don't have a financial, or if you don't have a framework laid down, a personal goal, like you're hoping things stick to the wall. And I have to beat my head against that wall so many times because I am very much someone who flies by the seat of my pants and just make shit happen. Go, 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 go. But what I've come to learn about myself, when I have a structure, when I have something laid out, I am able to execute at a much higher level. And that is something I've learned from literally people who are very, very successful, much more successful than myself, that they all have a structure and a plan, right? They lay that plan out, but what that plan helps them do, and even if they don't have the plan laid out yet, they just execute now. They don't just wait around. They don't wait for the opportunities. They go after them. They make them happen. And they look for every single opportunity that's physically possible out there. And the big piece to that, and just the perspective side of it, is that any setback that they run into, they look to that as they look to that as an opportunity. They find the opportunities in the setbacks. For myself personally, I can look at, the starting of First Form Outdoors 5.5 years ago, where no one told me to go out and create First Form Outdoors or to start the Instagram piece to really try and bring people together, right? First Form Outdoors, I get asked all the time, like, what is that, right? What is First Form Outdoors? What are you doing? What does that all entail? Well, really, First Form Outdoors is the outdoor branch of First Form. It is an extension of the mission of the community, and to realize that within the ecosystem of First Form, the greater mothership, as you will, that there are individuals within these walls that love hunting, love fishing, love hiking, love doing all things outdoors, and truly are passionate about those things and really live their life, right? And they work out, they eat healthier. They believe that living a healthier, more fit, active lifestyle allows them to experience more of the outdoors. That was the initial move and push of creating First Form Outdoors, that, hey, if you go to First Form's website right now, you might just see the bodybuilding side of things. You might see the CrossFit side of things. You might see a fitness brand. The reality is supplements within the First Form ecosystem, like we sell protein, we sell vitamins, we sell all the things anyone and everyone would ultimately need to benefit in their own health and wellness journey. But those are all tools that I use on a backcountry hunt, on my whitetail hunts, what I bring to deer camp in Wisconsin, right? When I go out on a turkey hunt, they're all tools. They fuel the body. And at the end of the day, everyone can talk about the coolest, greatest, badass gear that's ultimately out there. But your body is the number one piece of equipment and gear that most people overlook. They think the greatest tree stand is going to help them hunt better. They think that gun is going to make the biggest difference in their adventure or their hunt. They think that camo is going to make them more secluded and everything throughout their journey. When the reality is, like, if your body breaks down and if it's not able to do the things you wish it to do, you will not truly experience what the hunt has to offer, right? And you think about the Experience More podcast. It is a podcast, like I said at the beginning, for those who wish to live their life truly to the fullest, truly experience more of what the outdoors has to offer and life as a whole with those they love to experience it with. And that piece right there, with those they love to experience it with, is looking on passing on the outdoor heritage. You cannot pass on the outdoor heritage if you are dead. I have lost both my grandfathers. One taught me how to fly fish. The other one taught me how to hunt. You think about that. Like, they gave me so many different tools and resources that I've come to know and realize as I have gotten older. The reality is, like, I can't bring those gentlemen back as much as I wish I could. But with this podcast and with the platform of First Form Outdoors, we're able to go out and showcase individuals living a healthier, more fit, active lifestyle to truly get out there and experience more of it. because I've guided people in Idaho. I've guided people out west. And if they're not in shape, like if they're not physically capable, I'm not talking rip six pack or anything like that, but if you are not physically capable and ready to go out on that hunt of a lifetime that you wish to go on, you're going to suffer through that. Not saying you wouldn't if you're fit or active, right? But as you begin your journey of living a more healthy, fit, active, strong lifestyle, that suffering is something that you find to enjoy versus it holding you back. You're able to go further down that trail. You're able to go to that next ridge. You're able to pack that meat out. That is really the essence of that. And when you think of the Midwest side of it, and as a whole, a greater purpose in it, when you really think of experiencing more of the outdoors, that's with those people. I think of my grandfather sitting at the truck, right, as we're going out to do a deer drive, and he's like, hey, you guys go on without me. Right? Go ahead, you do it. I'll be here. I'll wait for you guys when you get back. Well, that's not truly experiencing it. I wish to this day I could have given my grandfathers, but one in particular, more to come out and like actually go on those deer drives, right? Actually go climb the mountain with us. Now, later in my life, I hope and wish to really give those tools and resources to my father so he is able to experience more of it with me and also with my daughter, his granddaughter, as we get older. You really think of that. We talk about passing on the outdoor heritage. We talk about bringing people along, getting more people involved. Well, the way of doing that is not just being a drunkard at the bar or just sitting at deer camp and getting hammered the night before. Like, I remember growing up in that lifestyle. The reality is, like, it doesn't need to be that way. I'm not condoning anyone for not having a beer or a drink around the bonfire and having fun with the buddies and the friends. Like, that's totally fine. But if it is something that is literally the only reason we're going out there to do that is to get away from the family or get away from the wife, or hey, I'm just going up to deer camp to go get hammered and do X, Y, and Z, hopefully make it out to the stand on opening morning, like, we've shifted in the wrong direction. We're giving the individuals on the outside of the hunting ecosystem power to really help divide us. And they just look at us as the Elmer Fuds of the industry, right? Especially in the Midwest. The Western hunters and everything out there, like, yeah, they have to live a healthier lifestyle. They have to be fit. They got to go do those things. They got to climb the mountains and do the stuff. I understand in the Midwest, hey, drive your side-by-side out to your box blind. But guess what? You got to drag a deer out. It's a lot easier if you're healthier and more fit and stronger. Hey, guess what? If a four-wheeler breaks down or a side-by-side breaks down or gets stuck, you need help pulling it out, something like that. It's a hell of a lot easier if you're stronger and more capable, less chances of injury. You're going to be able to have more of those experiences and things that you're able to really drive home with the entire family, the extended family that you're taking along for that journey. And what kind of message do we want to send the younger generation? My generation, like older generation, hey, hopefully we can go through and create some impact there. But I'm talking to my generation right now, right? You middle-aged guys and gals out there, what message are we sending to the younger kids? The individuals who are going to ultimately be the ones coming into the tree stands, the individuals who are just starting to hunt. What kind of story are we telling them? What kind of message are we sending to each and every one of them as we bring them along to deer camp, or we take them out west, or we go on the fishing trips with them? What are we doing to lead by example for that next generation coming up? And it's easy to get lost in that. It's easy to just kind of go in like, oh, this is just the relaxing setback kind of time. Like, I don't need to worry about anything. I'm just going to have the drinks, the booze, whatever it is that we're doing. I'm going to eat like shit at deer camp. I'm going to stop and grab the junk food at the gas stations and do all the convenient things that are out there. But if we can go through and make small adjustments, get a little bit more daily activity in, get a little bit better food into our system, and really prioritize what we are doing, even leading up to hunting season and during hunting season. What are we doing to be able to set and hold a higher standard for ourselves that speaks volumes to that next generation coming up? Because they're watching. They're watching you. They're watching your friends. They're watching me. They're watching everyone out there who's leading forward in this generation. And how we use social media and the stories we tell through that are a very powerful piece. That's a lot of kids nowadays live their life vicariously through others, right? Whether it's creators or whether it's face-to-face interactions, social media interactions, all that stuff, like all those kids are watching. So we have a great opportunity to go out and really shift the perspective that people on the outside of hunting have on us, right? Just like I said, there's opportunities everywhere. We have a great opportunity to go out and create a huge impact in the outdoor space, but it's going to come down to each and every one of us being the best versions of ourselves, working through the setbacks, seeing the opportunities there, and moving forward, right? It's going to take time. It takes work, it takes effort, but we have to find the opportunities in the setbacks. And it is just a cool piece to be able to see so many people start coming together. This year at Summer Smash was the most First Form Outdoors shirts that I've seen worn, the most hats that I've seen worn. Like, the First Form Outdoors ecosystem was very well represented at the entire Summer Smash event. This is the first year that we had a First Form Outdoors activation at the event, and it's been 5.5 years in the making. There are times in there, like, you guys just see it from the outside, but I would question myself. I'm like, are we doing the right way? Are we gonna move this forward? Like, I want to make sure that people on the outside realize that First Form Outdoors is not here to just sell a product or push a protein or some sort of bullshit on different people. Like, we're here to set and hold a higher standard for all the outdoorsmen in the entire outdoor ecosystem. Hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we all get to be better role models for the generations coming up behind us. And then really, outside of First Form Outdoors being the outdoor branch of First Form Supplement Company, we are an ecosystem. We are a community of individuals who believe in living that active, more healthy lifestyle and bringing people along for that journey to go out there and truly experience more of what the outdoors and life has to offer. But it's only going to work. The impact is only going to be made if each and every one of us pulls our bootstraps up and gets to work individually. It doesn't happen overnight. It won't happen overnight. No different than the hunt you wish to go on. No different than anything you strive to go out there and achieve. And I could not be more proud 5.5 years in on the First Form Outdoors side of things of everyone who has come along for the journey. It's a super fucking humbling piece. Like, and it really, for a long time, for a good amount of time, in the beginning of First Form Outdoors, a lot of leadership and different things, I believe, just looked at it as like, oh, this is just something Jake wants to do, just so he can go out and hunt and do these different things. The reality is, like, no, it's so much further from the fucking truth than it ever could be. But those different setbacks that came along the way have given opportunities. Right? Look at, like, at one point in time, through the journey itself, I had my daughter. I had to take a step back. I didn't travel for an entire year. I didn't go to events. It could have been a little bit of a step back there. Thankfully, had a team that had been created where, I have individuals like Kaylee, Preston, Lo, Sierra, like, all these individuals who have come out of the woodworks to where it is not their main job to work on First Form Outdoors, nor is it mine, but it is a passion project because we believe that there is a bigger impact to be had in the outdoor space, and we believe in the mission of First Form as a whole and the greater overall arching mission of helping people be better versions of themselves, to where this is not just a sell people a chocolate protein powder. Fuck that. This is about going out and being an impactful ecosystem for everyone out there. And because of my team, we're able to continue to build the mission forward and surrounding myself by other individuals who truly believe in what First Form Outdoors has to offer. Really look at that. There was a point in time where, I really had to look at one of the leaders within it where they were ready. They thought, okay, well, Jake's doing X, Y, and Z. He's really, he's got his main job here. He's not doing these things. Like, we're going to probably put someone else in the position of leadership in the First Form Outdoors piece. And I just looked at him and I was like, hey, I don't care who the fuck leads this thing. I don't care. I don't care who leads it. If it's someone else, let's go. It does not matter to me who leads First Form Outdoors or who's got the title in the leadership piece. I just know the impact that this is able to have, and I want it to go, right? And that was around when I had my daughter. And ultimately, from that point in, and I will tell you guys straight up, Kaylee is a phenomenal human. Kaylee Stevens has done a great job. She is a hell of a lot more organized than I am. And since going through and stepping back and giving her leadership role in First Form Outdoors, the structure of how things have worked, and she has organized different things. She has laid out different metrics. She has helped us build it entirely out to where her and I communicate back and forth and the overall vision, the mission, and everything going forward. And it has ultimately been better. Guess what? Could have looked at it in a negative sense, but I chose to look at that as an opportunity to move everything forward, because this is not about me. This is about all of you. This is about everyone who believes in what First Form Outdoors is truly about. I could give two legitimate fucks about who goes through and leads this, or is in charge, or has the title. It doesn't matter to me. Title does not matter in any aspect. And for all of you guys out there, like, if all you're worried about is the title, you're in the wrong realm. You're looking at it through the wrong lens. You just got to see the greater mission of the goals you have in front of you and continue to move forward. This is about people. This is about a bigger cause than just my own personal wants, right? So you look at that. I could have looked at it in a very negative sense. But because I had the perspective of opportunity that is there, it literally has gone and grown immensely. And it continues to grow. We continue to create more impact. We continue to connect with more and more people. And because I've really letting that go and allowed the team to flourish in the different areas that they have, it's given more opportunities. We've been given more opportunities because it is not just about me. It is about the entire team. It is about all of you guys, and really what First Form Outdoors is truly all about. And that's, I tell you guys that piece because it's very easy to get caught in this like little dark hole of your own life and where it is and what you're doing, and get stuck in the weeds, right? It's that saying of like, hey, it's easy to get lost in the woods. Sometimes you got to step back so you can see the entire forest. And that is something that I have to personally remind myself all the time. You got to remove your emotions from it and look at it from just a logical standpoint to really get a better grasp on what is transpiring. And that doesn't mean don't give a fuck or don't care about what's happening and going on. Like, definitely, I mean, the entire team is working to where we want First Form Outdoors to be our entire sole roles within the ecosystem. But you really think about it, it's like 5 years ago, it didn't even exist. 5.5 years ago, First Form Outdoors did not even exist. We didn't go to different outdoor events. We didn't go to shooting events. We didn't go to archery events. We didn't do any of those things because we really weren't able to truly connect with the outdoorsman. We weren't able to connect with the hunter. Yes, individuals inside the ecosystem did those different things. But until 5.5 years ago and starting the Instagram page and building out the ecosystem and the Facebook community, like, we didn't go do those things. We didn't have the relationships with the partnerships and everything we have. And I look at what's happened over the last 5.5 years to where now we have other phenomenal brands, other great relationships, people who are very large in the outdoor space who believe in us. They believe in the mission of First Form Outdoors. They believe in the people within it. They believe that we're in the outdoor ecosystem for the right reasons, and they wish to see us go out there and do bigger and better things. And, that has been the whole piece. Go out and create a better impact with people in their lives. Go help people be better versions of themselves. That is the extension of First Form. That is the whole mission. Help real people get real, lasting results. Well, guess what? It's the same for First Form Outdoors. Help people go out and get real lasting results to experience more of the great outdoors. This podcast is my own personal piece to where I can go through and say whatever the fuck I want and talk about whoever I want, whatever I want, any way, shape, or form. And I'm telling you guys, like, this podcast will go above and beyond in many different areas of what First Form Outdoors might go through and do, because this is just my own thoughts and my own ambitions and things that ultimately my life experiences through this journey, because very much building First Form Outdoors is an entrepreneur journey. It wasn't there. It wasn't a thing, but guess what? And no one told me to do it. But once I did it, people started joining in. But it took almost 1.5 years of doing it completely solo and proving the point that no, this is something bigger, better, and greater within really the world. Not just in our little podunk surroundings of St. Louis, Missouri, but within the entire country. Connecting with people all over the country and all over the world. That, I have people in Poland that are asking, hey, if you expand out over into Poland, we'd love to be able to connect up more and do more with you. People from all over the world, guys. And that was something that wasn't even a thing 5.5 years ago. Pretty fucking cool. And that's the perspective you have to have, because honestly, I have to check myself and be like, all right, well, I'm not moving as fast as I want to, or this isn't exactly where I want it to be yet. Like, I need to do X, Y, and Z. We need to be here. This is what we need to do. But reality is, like, we've already done some pretty cool fucking shit. And I encourage you guys to, like, see what it is you want and then just put the hammer down. Give yourself the permission to go start doing the things it is you want to do. Maybe it is like, if it's social media, get on there and start talking to your stories, start building out what it is you want to do, right? Start moving towards and start acting as if the individual you wish to be. If you wish to be X, Y, and Z individual, start doing the things you envision or would believe that individual would do. If you wish to go achieve certain things, whether it's through your own fitness, whether it's through your own outdoor endeavors, whether it's through business, it doesn't matter. You have to see yourself as an individual that would do those things and achieve those things and start working towards them. Because if you don't give yourself that permission, if you don't have that perspective on life, then you will always just sit back and watch the other individuals who actually took the initiative, took the opportunities when they came. Your thoughts are things. It is literally so phenomenally real. The power or the law of attraction, the power of law of attraction is you have to work towards those things and surround yourself by those people and speak it into existence. Otherwise, if you just go through and think about it and might talk about it, it's cool. No one's going to believe you until you actually start doing it and you actually stay consistent with it long enough. And it's okay. People aren't going to believe you in the beginning. They're not going to believe you. You have to believe in you. You have to believe in what it is you're talking about. You have to believe in the mission that you ultimately have. Solely, wholeheartedly, I firmly believe First From Outdoors is going to go out and change the entire outdoor industry, the entire outdoor community. It is going to teach people through personal interactions and via social media how to treat one another inside and outside the entire outdoor industry. It's about being a better human yourself first. If we wish to see a bigger change in the industry and the community, it starts with each and every one of us being the best individual we could possibly be. That means how we treat one another. That means how we leave the woods and the waters. That means all of those things coming together. We must first go first and not just wait for a community to do it first, or wait for a government to do it first, or an organization to do it first. Individually, we are all able to do some really fucking cool shit. And we are able to create a much bigger impact as a community if all of us are willing to be that individual. Be the individual in the outdoor space that you wish was there. Because you are it. It's you. It's you. It's me. It's the brothers and sisters to our lefts and right. It is the individuals we connect with via social media. It is all of us collectively coming together to create a greater impact in the outdoor space. No one is going to come and do it for us. If there's something we don't like, okay, don't sit and bicker and cry and bitch about it online. Go be the advocate that you wish to be. Be the individual you wish that person would be. Go out and kill people with kindness. There is no more powerful way to extinguish someone who is doing something negative than to kill them with kindness and then not just tell them what to do or how it should be done, but go and show them. Lead by example is not a good way to lead. It is the only way to lead. And it's going to take each and every one of us showing up on a consistent basis to make the difference we wish to go make. It is going to take each and every one of us doing those things, showing up and being the best version of ourselves to achieve the things we individually wish to achieve. And I encourage each and every one of you to change your perspective on life, to change the perspective on the things that you've been given, right? Change the perspective on the things that happen for you, not to you, and really have a gracious, very gratified, fulfilled life in all the things that are ultimately out there, because there's a lot of really, really cool things that happen to all of us on a consistent basis. But if we're too sucked into the negative things going on in the world and everything else that's out there, we don't see it. We're not allowed to see it. We have to open up our minds and our perspective to see the great and good in the world. Otherwise, all you're going to do is see the negative. You got to find the opportunity in all the different negatives and setbacks and just start taking one little step at a time. It's a little bit of left foot, right foot. You don't climb a mountain friggin' just in one leap at a time. You don't get to the top. You have to take switchbacks. Take one step right after another. It's going to take you longer than you ultimately wish it to take. But no matter what, if you start moving towards it, you start changing your mindset, you start shifting towards the positive and having a better perspective on what's going on in your life and what's going on around your life, I promise you, things will transpire that you never would have thought could happen. It is truly, truly a powerful thing when you put yourself in the right mindset and start working towards the things that it is you wish to achieve. There's no other way to do it. You can talk about it, think about it all you want. But until you start taking action towards it, all it is a dream. All it is lip service. If you truly want to go out and create something great in your own life, make the relationships, you got to take the risks. You got to be willing to look a little bit stupid. You got to be willing to go out there and be crazy with the goals that you have for people to take notice in what it is you ultimately wish to achieve. But I promise you, if you go out there, visualize it, speak it, take action on it, and stay consistent with it, it's truly amazing what can transpire. I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming on to this week's episode, being a part of the podcast, and sticking around. You know, it's a humbling thing to be. You know, I love the podcast, what you got going on, what's going on. So thank you for sharing this show. If there's one thing that I could ask of each and every one of you guys, it is to share the show with a friend or fellow outdoorsman, woman that you feel that they could grab some value from, whether it's in the outdoor space, whether it's in the personal life space, no different than any of you. I'm just a farm kid from central Wisconsin, grew up with a dream to want to create a bigger impact in the outdoor space. And I was lucky enough to change my perspective on what life had to offer. And I took some really, really, as most people would see it, crazy leaps, and ultimately just did things that were outside of the comfort zone, extremely outside of the comfort zone, to get to where I am today. And I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a dad, husband, and a dude with a driving desire to go out and hopefully help someone like my old self. And if that is you, just know, dude, if you feel like you're needing permission from someone to go out and work towards the things it is you wish to achieve, like, just know you have the permission. It's within yourself. And if you're needing the permission from someone else, here it is. Go fucking do it. No one else is going to give you the permission. You have to give it to yourself, and you just have to fucking go. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys being here this week. And truly, I mean that. Like, it is a humbling thing to be a part of your guys' journey, to hear your guys' stories, and I'm just thankful to be a part of your guys' journey here today. So until next week, I'll see you guys later. Go ahead, like the show, share the show, give it a thumbs up, like if it's on here on YouTube. It's the best thing I could ask for is go through and share it with someone who could use it. So let's go make it a great week. Get after it, get out there, experience more. We'll see you next week.